You're selling your home and you're wondering, is the Zillow estimate, the Zestimate, or the Redfin value the true value of your home? That's wrong. Okay, let's start with Zillow. So Zillow and Redfin use very similar algorithms, but what they don't do is they don't know the motivation of the seller. They don't know the
condition of the house.
The condition, the remodeling,
right.
Any of those things. And they also don't know what's pending.
There's a very different, when you're looking at the value of the house, it's easy to take an algorithm. It's an easy way out, and it does give you kind of an interesting baseline at first.
Yep.
But 100% of the time, it is wrong. Not
110.
Okay, it is always wrong, but it is a good baseline because people always ask you about it. And I think as a realtor, it's important to say, hey, like, we look at those too.
Yep.
Right? But here's why it's incorrect. So here's why when I pull all the comps of the homes that have sold about the same size, the same bedroom count, and the houses that have been remodeled or fixed up, here's how the prices actually are. So when I look at, again, Redfin, Zillow, whatever it might be, I think even now Zillow is saying we've been wrong about how we've been doing these things.
Yes.
Why is Zillow coming out and saying they've been wrong? Because they're wrong.
They're wrong. But people also, will my Zestimate or my Redfin value ever be more than what I can actually sell my home for?
Regardless of what anybody says when they look at those numbers, I would say, like, take it in. It is interesting to look at, and even other buyers, if you're listing your house and you want to say, hey, Zillow Redfin says it's worth $1 million.
Yep.
Right? Other buyers are going to come in and say, well, hey, my agent, it says it's worth $1 million. I'm not going to pay $1,001.
Yes.
Or $1,010. But when we have listings, we explain to our clients and other brokers who are representing the buyers, know the good, the bad, and the ugly of Zillow or Redfin, and they know it's, what's the right word? It's inaccuracies. Whoa. Okay, Chris has an awesome example. You have a house actually on the market right now.
Yes.
And what was the Zillow estimate and Redfin estimate versus what you listed at?
So the Zillow estimate and the Redfin estimate were about $5,000 off of $1 million. So one was at $1 million and the other was at $1.5 million. What it didn't take into account was there was no remodeling done on the inside. So the comparables they used for the last couple sales were remodeled, theirs wasn't. And it also didn't have a backyard. It just had a small deck.
And there's no way for the algorithms to know how important it is for a buyer to have a backyard, right? Some people don't want a backyard, but the majority of people, if you're buying or selling a house, you think that if you have a yard or if you have acreage is worth more.
Yeah, so we have these conversations in the listing appointments. We bring in the Zillow estimate, the Redfin estimate, and then our comparables and why we would price it at X. And we did. We priced it at $965, and we're going to be pending today.
Okay. So if you would have gone straight to the Redfin estimate or the Zillow Zestimate and you listed at $1 million, what would buyers have said?
It would have sat on the market. Probably, I'd say we'd have 50% less showings, and we'd probably have to do a couple price reductions before we actually went pending.
Yeah, and so if you listed too high, and anybody knows, so if you're working with a real estate agent or you're thinking about hiring a real estate agent, we all know the biggest marketing mistake you can make.
Pricing it too high.
Pricing it too high. It is the biggest freaking mistake every single time.
But you also have a story.
Yeah.
So tell us your story about how the Zestimate Redfin estimate was lower than what you sold it for.
Well, I mean, actually, this is one in Redmond, and it's in one of those kind of 55 and over communities. And the benefit of the unit we were selling, it was a one story. So in a 55 and over community, that is a benefit. So you don't have to use the stairs. You can stay there for longer, right? And our unit was completely remodeled, right? Other units were selling for $750, $775. And the comps showed those units were on busy streets, were not remodeled, right? And so what we said is our unit is different than those.
So you're saying Zillow and Redfin can't tell if your home's on a busy street?
Zillow and Redfin.
Interesting.
So they can't. And so what we did is, because even though other units were on the market and had sold for $750 to $775, we listed it for $829, got more than one offer. And granted, again, if you can get $50,000 or more for your client at that price point, it's a big deal. And because Zillow and Redfin's estimates were completely wrong, we were able to list for higher and sell for more.
Yep. So you got an extra $100,000 more than what the Zillow and Redfin estimate said.
Yeah!
So Zillow and Redfin can sometimes be right though.
Wait. Didn't we always just say that they're 100% wrong?
I'd say they're 0.00001%.
So have you seen an example where they are right?
Yes. And it was a listing I had last year. It was in a very cookie cutter neighborhood, 50 homes in the neighborhood. They're all very similar. They all have the same finishes and all very much remodeled the same.
And so it's either that or possibly you're in a condo building, right?
Yes.
So if you're in a condo building, and here's where it can usually be right. So if you're on the same floor, same size, same floor plan, same finish, it's all the same year built, obviously. But what happens if you have a view of the water?
Zillow can't tell you that?
No, well, they can lie about it.
Zillow can't tell you that.
What are you
and
looking
neither
at?
can Redfin.
What are you looking
There's
at?
a duck over there screaming at me.
So again, so Zillow doesn't know if it has a nice view. It does know the right zip code. So Zillow will know that if you're living in an expensive area versus a less expensive area,
Yep.
and the houses are the same size, but Redfin and Zillow can't take in all the stuff that we've all talked about where they don't know if the house has been remodeled. They don't know if it has a view. They know the square footage, they know the bedroom count, they know the bathroom count.
That's it.
We hope you learned a little bit more about Zillow Zestimates and Redfin estimates and why you need to work with a real estate agent to find the real information.
If you're thinking about buying or selling in the Kirkland area or anywhere around Seattle, we'd love to be your agents of choice. And until next time, we'll see you then.
We'll see ya.